Hey, hi again. This is my second video, card related video, and I hopefully have fixed the issue with the format. This will fit YouTube better. I think I will have a better handle on the glare on the cards and some other technical improvements. But as I have no more packs to open, I'm going to call this sort of like, I guess, collector's corner, where, one of my favorite things as a kid was just showing off my collection to some of the other kids, and then they would show off their collection, and maybe it would all end up with trading. And I don't really know anyone who collects baseball cards. I don't really have anyone to trade with, or really anyone to show off my collection. So I thought I'd throw some clips up on YouTube to share via the internet. What I'm going to share tonight is the cards that I have from 1973 Topps, which is probably my favorite set of all time. I love the new stuff. There's certainly a lot of great sets throughout the ages, but there's something about 1973 Topps, and it's sort of the simplicity, the classic nature of the design, but more than that, just the sheer number of Hall of Fame players, both players who are just finishing out their careers, like Willie Mays, Clemente, Hank Aaron, and then quote unquote young guys at the time, guys like Nolan Ryan and Steve Carlton, and Mike Schmidt had his rookie in this set. It's just such a great range of players that for the most part, if you're not too stuck on condition, you can get at a somewhat reasonable price. So here's what I got. Let's go through these one at a time. Brooks Robinson, who was a third baseman for the Orioles, probably the best defensive third baseman of all time. He could hit as well. Rod Carew certainly could hit. Singles, played a big chunk of his career for the Angels, but started out with the Twins, and I think before that, it was the Twins in '67 when he started. Carl Yastrzemski, one of my all-time favorites, and always a name that trips me up, but Boston legend, was the last player to hit for the Triple Crown, which he did somewhere in the 60s before Miguel Cabrera did that a couple years ago. Al Kaline, great, sort of a minor star by today's standards, but a star nonetheless in the Tigers. Bob Gibson, obviously one of the best pitchers of all time. They had a lot of leader cards that had a lot of amazing players. Here's a Hank Aaron card. Steve Garvey, stand out for the Dodgers and the Padres. So you got Tom Seaver, one of the best pitchers of all time, a couple years into his career. You got Willie McCovey, a home run hitter for the Giants. Love this card. You got Steve Carlton and Nolan Ryan on the same card for the strikeout leaders. Steve Carlton's just regular player card. One of the best lefties of all time. Frank Robinson, one of the all-time greats. Pete Rose, one of the better cards in the set. My favorite player of all time, Johnny Bench, and I love that card. He's just a few feet away from the dugout, catching a ball. Not only arguably the best hitting catcher of all time, but also arguably the best defensive catcher of all time. Willie Mays, one of my favorite cards, just because it's a Willie Mays card that you can sort of afford to buy. I had, before I sold off a lot of this set a couple years ago, I had the Nolan Ryan player card, I had Hank Aaron. The one card I never had was the Mike Schmidt rookie, which in decent condition is four figures, but even in rough condition, it's It's going to be a couple $100 for that card. And really, he was the only rookie in this set. You had guys like Dwight Evans and Goose Gossage, who's a Hall of Famer. Carlton Fisk had one of those yellow cup trophy cards, but it was actually a second-year card. But Schmidt was like the rookie in this set, certainly the best, highest valued card in this set. A bunch of other guys that I sold off years ago when I have no idea what I needed the money for at the time. I'm sure I didn't sell them at a reasonable price. And now that I'm getting back into the hobby, I sorely regret that. But if you're into vintage collecting and you want something that's reasonably affordable, check out 1973 Topps. You can get a Willie Mays, you can get a Hank Aaron, a lot of other stars that, again, if they're not graded, if they don't have to be in near mint condition, you can get them still at a pretty reasonable price. Certainly fun to have in the collection. So I'll do more of these with some of my other vintage sets and maybe some of my newer sets as well. Hope you enjoyed. If so, feel free to subscribe, like, share, comment, all that good stuff. And that's it.